Hello again. The internet here goes in and out semi-often. So there was a disconnect in the live stream, and we'll continue, see what happens with the technology. Hello again, Nikki. See if the people who were here before will join in again, with the intention of offering peace, love, and compassion. And a smile, some positive words for the day, some positive energy for the day, and to allow whatever spontaneous wisdom to arise. And see what happens. That's the beauty of freshness, of rawness, is that sometimes, hello, hello, this is the opening of the space of peace, love, and compassion. For those who wish to hear those words, most likely for the first time today, dare I say for the first time this week, maybe, and to offer any wisdom for impersonal inquiries. Personal question. Impersonal inquiries, please. Impersonal inquiries. Also an offering of a quiet moment of stillness. Compassion requires stillness. Healing takes place within that space of stillness, both on a tangible level and also on the subtle level, the psychological, emotional level. One is in operating on the psyche, in a sense, to find out what that suffering is and how to alleviate it. There's a quiet mind that is needed, and a slowing down and a recognition, the same that on an operating table. In order to heal on an operating table, one must be still. You breathe in deeply into a gas, or there's a needle that injects numbness into an area of the body, and it's still so that it can be investigated first, and then seen what is there with some planning. Sometimes it's spontaneous healing. In the case of an emergency, something that wasn't there, or something that wasn't foreseen. And all those things can be said for the suffering that is psychological. Can you recommend ways to help kids of today stay on the side of compassion. I hear you. Be the example of compassion. Realize the essence of yourself. And that example will be shown to all of those around you, especially your own kids and the family. If you are a mother of children, wife to husband. First, realize the essence within you, the infinite essence of compassion. The unconditional love and the infinite compassion to always want to relate to oneself and to the other in a dualistic sense, with a loving heart, a kind heart, a caring heart, a peaceful heart. So that through times of suffering, through times when the mind is identifying with the personal self, there is a transcendence that happens in which that person fades away. And there's a divine light that starts to grow from the heart. And that divine light, fueled by peace and love, is a compassionate heart. Envelops all of darkness and brings light into the world. And then the right action follows. The circumstances will always change. The suffering will always change. The apparent suffering. And you can name them. You can put them on an actual list, name the common ones, the uncommon ones, the ones that we hold to be true as far as our own personal, one's apparent personal identity. And once that story fades away, the past story, the identification with that story, the anxiety of a personal story towards the future, we're left with this immense present moment of nowness and this immense present timeless here that is constantly offering love and compassion. And tapping into that, abiding as that, allows for the realization, the recognition, the amplification, the fragrance, the light, love to shine. Unto children, unto adults, unto pets, unto animals, unto the planet, unto all things. Because it in and of itself provides that force for all things. All things that spontaneously and simultaneously vanish and stop and instantly annihilate if anything else were true. Therefore, truth is of peace, truth is of love, and truth is of compassion, justice, pure freedom, pure goodness, purity itself, present before life, the energizing, infinite force behind life, permeating life, transcending birth and death, because life transcends birth and death. Fearlessness, doubt. Fearlessness arises, doubt fades, hatred fades in the presence of that kind of love. Some may think it's challenging to establish it, yet there are examples, many, many, many examples of those that have established it so deeply rooted in their being that that effect, that light, has transformed lives through hundreds and hundreds of years. Never meeting those people in person yet, feeling their spirit, feeling their spirit. Because it is spirit that is ever present. And it is omnipresent and all-knowing. You cannot lie to the truth. It is impossible. In the same way that human beings know when we're lying. Both being aware when we're lying and at another level, perhaps subconsciously, knowing intuitively that something is off is similar to a lie. And through course correcting and being truthful and experience, there's a continuous opening of that space, a continuous opening of the revelation that allows the inherent truth to continue to permeate and arise and be here with us. Those that are gathered here and those that are gathered elsewhere. As a gathering, it's the eternal sunshine of that spotless mind, a restful mind, a still mind, a mind that's a servant to the heart, I think is how Einstein put it. And know this. Know this. Know it through experience. Test it out. Test it out in a direct application of it. The direct application of clear mind without any personal identification with the thoughts, feelings, sensations, and images that are often like in a pinball machine. They're just colliding with one another. If you put a bunch of those metal balls and all the lights are going off, and you're trying to hold on to all of them and get them all active and keep them going. Let them drop through that hole at the bottom, and let the lights go out, and take your hands away, and let the stillness and the jackpot arise in and of itself, because it's there. It's not there in that sense of the word. It's here because there is no distance between the life force that is actually providing us this opportunity to be the gift to the world. There is no distance to that. If it was outside of here, it would be inaccessible. We'd have to cross the boundary of the universe into a separate place in order to acquire that which is already given us this here, in order to shine in being as who we are. There is so much grace in that, beyond the word reassurance. Infinite possibilities, even at the quantum level. Every single wave and particle is a possibility. Every single moment, every single place. It doesn't require any specific circumstances to love unconditionally. These are the circumstances. This heart, this mind, and this body, this is the circumstance to love. This process of DNA and blood and air are the circumstances. This space is the circumstance. If one waits for the perfect circumstances to love, there's infinity to offer that as well. Yet, why wait to love unconditionally? Really, why wait? Why wait? Oftentimes people who are either in prayer or meditating, or oftentimes you determine yogas when you're on the mat, you take it into the world. That is, again, a dualistic thought that what actually happens while you're doing yoga has no effect on the world, as if the yoga studios cut off from the universe. That thought is the universe. That these words are the universe. Actions are of the universe, unified at one with that which is of the here and of this now. Such beauty, such peace, harmony, equanimity, and experiencing that which is shapeless, timeless, colorless, without imagination, without any claim by, for, or to anyone or anything. All are beautiful, none more special than the next. All offering a gift in some way or the other. Everyone, welcome to Robert, welcome Amy. All being an offering of continuous peace, love, and compassion. Inherent in the heart, continuous, infinite. If it's infinite, then the possibilities are so grand. I was having a conversation earlier, and what were the words? Uh, divine intervention far exceeds human imagination. Divine intervention far exceeds human imagination. Instantaneously, spontaneously. Those beautiful silent whispers that surprise us. And all we can say is, wow, I didn't see that coming. But somehow I knew it was going to happen. And resting in that peace. And as they say, dying before you actually die. Dying to that wisdom before the body needs to validate it in its own death. Physical death only validates that which is inherent in life. Which is peace, love, and compassion. The inherent qualities available to every single thing that is known as life. Because it provides life, it is before life. It permeates life. It is the thing that makes an infant cry, an infant laugh, an infant that is curious. The innocence of being an infant. Childlike qualities of exploration of all the infinite possibilities that life provides. They are all inherent in life. And as we grow into different parts, that unification is lost to a certain extent. And what compassion does, it brings us home. On a red carpet. And shows us all the things that we thought we lost through suffering. We thought we lost our true self when we started to identify as a separate individual with problems that are they in and of themselves illusory, with fears and with doubt. Yet when the identification with mind ceases to exist and we are left with only this present moment, the understanding comes that the understanding and the truth comes that all is well. All was well, all is well, and all can only be well. And it's here. It's in that quiet space in the heart, rather than the constricted space when one identifies self as the mind. They say that the universe is expanding. Let's expand with it. Opening up the heart space, rooted in the peace, expanding the love. And compassion is like for those that are unable to see that expansion property of the universe, of the heart, compassion works to help recognize that essence, to alleviate the suffering of the natural, inherent expansion of love, of the force of love, that literally is exponentially expanding that which we perceive as the universe, and it's all happening. It's all happening. It may fluctuate at different rates, as does any wave does. Yet, in quantum physics, as the wave becomes a particle, passive love becomes active love. The thought of love becomes the right action when perceived and when applied. We are blessed in grace. Again, I'll repeat this. We are blessed and graced with this. With the simple movement of hands and the simple placement of feet and the simple sounds created through language, through communication. and the thoughts that spark everything. Every action begins with inspiration, and that inspiration creates the right thought that creates the right concept, that creates the right belief. And the right belief with right action creates the most incredible beauty, unimaginable beauty. In the conversation earlier, there was also the realization that there is resistance. There's resistance that comes up. If one allows that resistance, neutrality occurs and nothing happens. Yet, resilience overcomes those fears. And love, entropic, through entropy. Not entropy. Entropy is the wrong word. Through its own force, continues. It is a life force. It is the space that is being experienced now. Here, now. The spaceless here, the timeless now. That energized infinite void. That infinite awareness. The infinite beingness in the word I that allows for that knowing, and it is a whisper. The ego speaks first and loudest and often last and loudest. Yet before that, there is silence. And after that, there is silence. The common language of the universe. Silence. That gives rise to all rivers of languages that lose their name once they reach home. You lose your identity as a person, and you abide as that spirit which is provided at all times, in all places, here and now, for those that are watching, and those who may come across this in the future. And simply be and rest here without expectation or outcome or any specific need for an outcome or any questions or any speculation or any imagination or any cognitive intellectual urge or need to understand why or how. Just know that that same force that is allowing you to be here now is infinite and everlasting and will be here now at any point in and of itself because it is infinite. And it is given such that it's unnecessary to think about it and simply be it. Be it. Be this. Be this consciousness, this intelligent consciousness, this knowing awareness. This joy. Say it again, because it's a Monday. And those that are conventionally employed, I will say, I use those words, return to work on a Monday, and in a certain mindset, it is said statistically that most heart attacks occur on Mondays. So look that one up. And so on this Monday evening, I offer the words peace, I offer the words love, I offer the words compassion to be heard. Because of the energy that they provide. The energy, as some say in this voice, some say, and of this energy, this shared energy, this shared voice. Sharing and giving, and also sharing and being present here now. And allowing for the mind to rest. The underlying subtle thisness and beingness. When one is without identification with thought, without linking thought and identity, personal identity. When the person, the illusion of person, of an apparent person, fades. happens is, in addition to that, there's a realization that if it's an illusion, is it wasn't there to start with. Hello, Sydney. Hello. This is a space for peace, love, and compassion, and to offer any wisdom to impersonal inquiry. And I offer gratitude for those that are here and those who watch. And this is a continuous, spontaneous, simultaneous happening to allow the openness of that which is, the flourishing, the thriving, the beingness of that which is, without judgment. Gratitude and love back to you. Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Thank you. It can be lived because it is living. Why search for the living amongst the dead? Search for the living amongst that which is alive. And then the seeking ceases because you find love. You find unconditional love and realize it's only unconditional until it's given freely. And it's experienced freely. Pure freedom, pure liberation. A pure offering. A pure offering. Blessed is the one that is an offering of light into this world. Alleviating hunger, alleviating poverty, alleviating war, alleviating disease, alleviating loneliness, doubt, alleviating darkness. Following the light within these circumstances, offered as intuition. Sometimes an intuition that's so blatant that it ceases to be intuition, and once it becomes form, once the inspiration actually becomes form, once the faith becomes knowing, and you can see it, the tangible outcomes, that is gratitude. Instantaneously dropping all fear. It's like coming out of water and shaking off, coming out of the ocean and shaking off all this dirt and water and whatever, and walking forward playfully. With joy and bliss. As joy and bliss. Because there is no separation. Between beauty, gratitude, and joy. And the actual experience of that. Again, practicality in life. One must stay hydrated. One must stay hydrated in order to function and speak. To speak these truths, to be the voice of this infinite truth, so that everyone can hear either now or any time in this now what we may perceive to be a future. In this intention, there's infinite possibilities. And it can be likened to a star and starlight. Our sun is shining, yet it knows not where its light lands. The sun, one can ask, did the sun have the intention of life? What is the sun's storybook? If the sun were an author of this planet, writing a book, the biography of Earth, what would it say? Or if it was writing its own autobiography, would it know and say I plan on life being on that specific planet. I don't think the sun knew. In that same sense, there is an immense amount of uncertainty in what our own life and light can and will create. Rest assured that if it's righteous, it will be full of life. If it's loving, it will be full of love. If it's peaceful, it will be full of peace. If it's kind, it will be full of kindness. If it's caring, it will be full of... If it's careful, in that sense, it will be a caring outcome. And compassion will be there. In order to alleviate any suffering that may resist that love. And it will alleviate it. It will lift it back to itself. Realizing essence as love. No child of spirit left behind. No fear left unresolved. No doubt left hanging in the clouds. We all arrive as one. We all arrive as one humanity, simultaneously knowing the purity of love. Spontaneous. Give rise to these words. Give rise to this energy. Allow its revelation. And sit back and watch its wonder. With some buttered popcorn. Or for the healthier version with some nutritional yeast popcorn. Lightly salted. for those that are present and for those that aren't present here now. I'll rephrase that. For those that are watching currently, for all who are present, gratitude and unconditional love. Inevitably, all 7+ billion of us are here now. And the future, the apparent future, the continuity of life, of being, is being created now. What an opportunity to know that experientially. That what I am thinking and what I am saying, the words that are being used, the words that are gifted, and again, more subtle than the words, the ineffable energy is opening that revelation of joy and peace and love and harmony. That every act can be a loving act. Every thought can be a loving thought. Every word can be a loving word by simply being aware itself. Being aware and awareness itself, the consciousness that allows this beingness, this happening. All of this is just happening. Within the energized stillness of infinite emptiness. And rest assured, this, again, a little bit of science. This is 4% of the matter that we experience. The matter that we experience in the universe is 4%. That leaves 96% of the immensity and the possibilities of an infinite emptiness energized unconditionally and loving. Again, that is why divine inspiration far exceeds human imagination. And all that one can do is allow it to be revealed with the buttered or traditional yeast popcorn. I think it reconnected on its own. That's nice. Beforehand, the wireless disconnected and had to restart things. Yet this was a very quick glitch, and it reconnected on its own. And for that, I'm grateful with the internet connection that goes out here from time to time. Hmm. Again, this space is offered for the sharing of wisdom, of impersonal inquiry as well. By that meaning, any questions that may arise, though sitting in that space of knowing without the mind wanting to, or ego wanting to engage, and simply sitting in that awareness, the questions about life, about how and why and what, they tend to cease in the beingness of now and the beingness of here, alleviating suffering, the suffering mind, rather than the pure, spotless mind. And then the mind becomes a tool for righteousness. And there's clarity in that mind. And right action from that clarity. Sometimes, and dare I say oftentimes, unconventional. Surprising, unexpected. It's the surprise that makes you smile. And say, wow, or oh, or aha. Hmm. The stillness is simply being. beingness that never dies, that cannot die. The infinite wellspring of life. And you are that. The core being of all that is the core being of who you are. It is a universal beingness, a non-local isness, a unified oneness. Knowing itself experientially. In all form, both tangible and intangible, both of which provide. Release the apparent illusion that one's identity is of the mind, the thoughts, the names, the labels, the brands, the branding, the philosophy, the religion, the beliefs, the morality that causes conflict, that we oftentimes will believe to be true, yet they are all changing in our own sense of time. Creating time so that it has a home to exist, yet the illusion can never haunt the home of the heart. The ghost can never haunt the home of the heart, nor its echoes. When the illusion is recognized, there is freedom. There is the recognition of the infinite unity that is ever present. Being ever present, it's now, and can be no other now, can be no other here, can be no other. The apparent perception of other drops, and everything is seen and experienced as one. It's simple. The phantom mind may want to re-enter this picture and find something somehow to fuel it through questioning the simplicity of it in an attempt to make it more complex, to give it more time, in order to try to validate that which is unable to be validated by the limited mind. The beingness requiring absolutely no validation whatsoever. Being able to touch the earth with underneath the Bodhi tree with one hand and silently proclaim, I am. With such ease, and with say such a thing with such ease and such joy and such peace and such love that it resonates and vibrates through the word. Yes. Yes. Thank you, everyone who is here now. Those who were contributing to the opening of this space with their own warm, peaceful, loving, and compassionate being. We'll finish this and post it on Facebook newsfeed for whoever to see whenever. That these words may be inspirational, that they may be a guide, direct, a pointing to that which is inherent here. And allow that to be a shining beacon for others. Thank you.